So this is my podcast, and
What's the name
I'm
of your
doing it
podcast?
with Uncle David, and the name is going to be a podcast with my Uncle David. So I'm just gonna ask you a few questions, and
But your podcast doesn't have its own name, like the Billy C podcast or something like that. You need to come up
I
with
don't
like
know.
a
I
clever
know.
name. Yeah.
Could be the Billy Show. I
The
don't know.
Billy Show. I like that.
Okay. So my first question is, what state are you from?
I'm originally from New York, just like you. I grew up on Long Island.
But where are you currently living?
Now I live in New Orleans, Louisiana, where I've lived for about 16 years now.
So tell us a little on why you came to New York.
Why I came up here this weekend?
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to see you, my nephew, and your sister, my niece, Olivia, and my brother, and your mom, and all of the rest of my family. And I wanted to see all my friends from home that I grew up with, that I went to grade school and high school with, that I don't get to spend a lot of time with since I live 1,300 miles away in New Orleans.
So have you ever done podcasts before besides this one?
I have. I actually do a weekly podcast every Monday evening with some friends of mine, and we do about 45 minutes every Monday, and we talk about the Saints because we're big New Orleans Saints fans. We're big NFL fans, football fans, and I actually have a blog that I've written for 8 years. We cover the Saints. We're with SB Nation. That's CanalStreetChronicles.com. So go check that out if you're a Saints fan. And we upload it on my blog every Tuesday morning.
Okay, cool.
So I'm pretty familiar with
So
the
actually,
format.
my next question, I think you covered a little bit, but you still need to cover a little more. I mean, what is your favorite sports teams?
Oh, I'm definitely a diehard Saints fan. I have season tickets. I've had season tickets for the Saints since 2006, since right after Hurricane Katrina, and I actually started covering the team and following the team very closely in 2008 when I started the blog Canal Street Chronicles, and my seats are actually second row, right behind the Saints bench.
Cool.
So I have very good seats. I sit real close, and I don't know how many of your listeners out there would remember in 2010 when the Saints went to the Super Bowl, but I actually went to the Super Bowl in Miami when they won, and I was actually there to see them win in person, which was one of the most memorable experiences of my life.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the audience wants to hear a little more about you. So can you describe
They
your
do?
family and
They want to.
Yeah, describe your family and who you live with.
Who are these people? Describe my family. Well, I'm married. I'm 33 years old, and I'm married to a beautiful girl named Erin, and we have 2 beautiful kids, your cousins. My son Dylan is 3 years old, and my daughter Blair is 3 months old. It's kind of funny because I have a firstborn son and a second-born daughter, and they're 3 years apart, which I think is just like you and your sister.
Yes. So where are you going after coming to my house?
Tonight I may go meet some friends at Brooklyn Bowl in Williamsburg. There's a New Orleans brass band called Dirty Dozen that's performing there. So it's kind of funny that I just left New Orleans to come to New York, and now I may go to a music concert and see a band that I could actually see at home, but I'm going to see them here in New York, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So now we're gonna start getting this is our last question for this topic.
Sure.
Then we're gonna get into the more ridiculous questions.
Oh, okay. I'll answer whatever.
What college did you go to?
I proudly went to Tulane, which is how I wound up in New Orleans, actually. Tulane University is in New Orleans, and it's a pretty good school. In fact, when I was 13 years old, I took a vacation to New Orleans with my parents, and I just really fell in love with New Orleans. And I told my mother, I said, "You're a grandmother," and I said, I really want to live in New Orleans. And she said, well, the first chance you'll ever get to move out of the house and live somewhere else would be college. And I said, okay, I want to go to college in New Orleans. What's the best college in New Orleans? And she said, Tulane. And I said, okay, I'm going to Tulane. And that's what happened.
Okay, so now this is our first question of this embarrassing topic. The weird.
Whatever.
What was the most embarrassing moment in your life?
The most embarrassing?
Or one of them.
Yeah. That's a good question.